Right, so before we start, I've got a really important question.
No.
Yo, can you ask Taylor why she's head glitching the duvet?
Taylor, you want to know why your head glitching the duvet? Aye. She's middle fingering you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right.
Great.
Okay, all right, don't worry. We're good to go.
Hello and welcome to Spitfire episode 22.
No, this is
Season 2, episode 1, bro.
Are we doing that?
What the fuck
'Cause
is
technically,
that?
here's the issue: is that technically we haven't actually changed anything.
Well, I know, right? But the difficulty is
So that's the first topic of conversation. Why we failed to do any sort of change for season 2.
Right, well, firstly, is that the person I was going to get to do the graphics has been in Mexico all week. So, and then you wanted to do an episode this week, so I haven't had time to sort new graphics in between getting back from London.
Right.
So this is technically the start.
Welcome to Spitfire season 2, episode 0.5.
Yes.
The very important episode, but also not quite the real season 2 because we haven't changed anything yet, but we will. All right. Fortunately, it is going to be a good episode because CWL London happened just the past weekend, and we get to discuss who did well, who did badly, and what we thought of the entire event. Of course, I'm Bryce, so I'll be kind of running through all the topics here. Joining me, Chris Tunn, will be doing things in the background and occasionally trying to figure out what I've just in the chat. Thanks for that, MarkyB. Trying to figure out, what's going on, how to keep things under control, but more importantly, our guests for this episode, long time returning and almost could be called a co-host at this point. It's Reedy. Reedy, love to see you return.
Hi. Enjoying it.
I like the fact I don't think you're on a game at the moment, so that's always a benefit.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying.
Not always on the game, just occasionally,
Chelsea kick off in 35 minutes. You'll be distracted then.
Oh my god, I just threw a knife at myself. And also, of course, MarkyB, coach of Splyce.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, who apparently is laying down in bed and won't get on camera. So,
yep, pretty much.
That's how that works out for us. All right, CWL London. Let's jump straight into a topic on first thoughts about the event. I like it.
Shite. No.
Right, since we're kicking off as we mean to go on. Brilliant.
No, do you want me to? I'll just chime in because I know Chrissy Tunn's thinking about his answer.
Connection's been unstable. 1 second. Hello?
You guys hear me?
You're still here.
Okay,
we're all good.
We're good.
Right, I'll go first, because I'm just going in order of intellect, right? So, me first. The event was great. Not that I spent too much time in the crowd because I was hanging out in the backstage.
You were like a ghost, mate. Honestly,
yeah, I was floating about like I seen a lot of Reedy. Backstage, but the event was good. I liked the setup in general. There was a few things I'd suggest improving on, but overall, I think the event was great. And obviously, G30 haven't hosted a big, massive event like that in a while, so it was.
That's the first big. That is the biggest event. G30
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So.
Is
it done that? Yeah, that's the biggest, hands down the biggest. They've never really.
I was at G3.
Like well, in terms of open bracket, like that was
okay, I'll give you that. In terms of card and open bracket, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other kettle of fish.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really enjoyed the event. Thought it was great. Boom. There you go.
Reedy, you were so a lot of people probably don't know this. You were actually working the event, right? Like. You were helping out behind the scenes and doing something maybe slightly outside your comfort zone. I would go out there to say.
Oh yeah, no, it's completely out of my comfort zone. I've got a new uphold of respect for every single admin, all the producers, the trucks, just everyone really, from the people that are running it. Like fuck, that was long. But it's
a whole different world, isn't it, behind the scenes?
Literally a whole different kettle of fish. So new. Like next time I attend an event, a lot of the admins and stuff will be getting a little bit more respect, even though I give everyone a lot of respect. I've been a cunt at times and stuff like that, but just to be a bit blunt.
Right, I'm just gonna bring it back for 1 second because I swear last week when we were discussing about the end of the podcast, we were saying, well, and you actually came up and said, but you need to make it a bit more PC though. You can't be saying swearing and stuff. My man's dropped a C-bomb 5 minutes in.
Look, let's put it this way. At the moment, I don't mind the occasional swear word. There's some other more horrific things that are occasionally said. I don't mind that. I think it's fine. It's an 18+ game. It's an 18+ podcast.
Okay, continue.
And there it is. But so yeah, I've found a new level of respect for everyone behind the scenes. It was a lot different than playing. A lot more stressful. Actually, no, it wasn't a lot more stressful than playing.
It's
it was just
different kind of
different.
stress,
It was
right?
very, very, very different. Yeah, but I enjoyed it. It was a good experience for me, and maybe I can do more of it in the future.
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's something everyone should always experience. Like I said, I've done it because I also for the same company. Funny enough, I used to work for GFIN, but I think it's so many moving parts that once you get into it, you kind of really realize like, oh crap, there's like so much stuff going on. Because everyone only really ever says like, oh, there's the main stage. Why can't you fix this in 2 seconds? And I'm like, well, because there's probably like 12 people who have to do it. 18 miles worth of cable. Like nothing is ever a quick fix like you think it is. Which is always very interesting. But apart from that, very few technical issues. The only technical issues I think we had a few on day one.
Oh yeah, that
One was a power cut.
Yeah, that was out of out of Gfinity's control. I think one of the switches that had everything online just
literally went on fire, didn't it?
Went on fire. It was just like I think someone said someone from Gfinity was there with a fire extinguisher putting it out. So that kind of that was back, but that wasn't from Gfinity. I think it was from the venue itself.
That was the
you
the
know
AV
what? Actually, I
companies.
need to speak on this topic because it's just remembered me some bullshit I saw on Reddit. So when that happened, right? Obviously, as talent, there's not a lot you can do. You're sitting there, you're waiting. Same with players and all that. So I'm on Reddit, and just the bullshit that comes out of some Redditors' mouths. Now I love COD Competitive, and I basically read everything that ever goes on there, more or less. But like people going, oh, it's typical. Oh, look at Gfinity. Oh, this happened last year. Oh, this is what happens at EU events. Like, are you insane? Like, these people have no idea how difficult it is to run an event of any size. The fact that some companies manage to get it down to an art and very rarely have issues is basically a godsend because it can take the tiniest thing to cause a blip, and it can take way too long to fix anything. Even like going offline for like an hour. An hour seems like a long time to go offline. It really isn't in the grand scheme of things.
No.
By the time you've gone through all your problem solving and you're figuring stuff out and you've changed stuff and then you've rebooted everything, then you've tested it. You've got maybe people are testing this stuff before it goes live again to make sure it doesn't happen again. When you finally come back online, an hour goes like nothing. Like to the people who go, why can't they fix this? Why can't they do it? It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And it bothers me immensely.
And to just jump into what actually like happened, I said it was the AV company switcher, I think, blew up because of a power surge. And I think I was speaking to somebody, I know this is maybe going a little bit technical, but like to the point of where this AV company had used this switcher once last week. It was brand new for like 4 hours or something like that, and it just broke. It's a brand new faulty product, obviously, and that's the reason that it's went to like an hour delay. And it's like, people need to like lay off. Like shit happens, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, look, it's in the same category as like what happened with MLG in Dallas. Like when the whole bomb scare shit happened, that's not anybody's control apart from obviously the person who called the fake hoax in. But at the same time, these things happen at events, and people need to lay the fuck off, basically.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't really think of anything else that I kind of thought was an issue. Like as far as I'm concerned, there was like they even on the Sunday, lots of people requested more seats. They put out tons more seats, so many.
That was fun. We need more seats at main stage, so we're just sitting and running around like finding seats because I think we used all the seats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
there's thousands of people in that venue.
I was even speaking to Martin, and he was like, when we built it up the day of, we asked the company who we built up with, can we move the stage back? Maybe
I literally said that to someone. I was like, I kind of wish the stage was brought back a tiny bit more, and the open bracket wasn't as big, a bit more squats crammed in there.
Yeah, there was that. I mean, but they looked into it and they realized that afterwards. But I think at the end of the day, though, they sold the ticket for the capacity that they had, or maybe slightly above. But I mean, it wouldn't have increased the amount of people you would. It still would have been fine. We weren't teaming for seats. Like, there was a few people who didn't have a seat, but look, it wasn't like to the point where we needed like an extra few hundred or anything.
The real fans stand up anyway, so it's all good.
Exactly.
You're there swinging your beer about, going mental.
Were you in that crowd at any point, Marky? I know it's
You know
really...
what? It was not. I was out the venue as fast as everything.
I was absolutely mind blown. So before the final starts, I've walked in like from the back way. I've walked in and I just saw a fucking big old Ryan for Flux standing there. I was like, this guy.
Oh, right, yeah.
Massive. I couldn't believe he was there. And then Calvin. It was so good seeing all the old faces. Like,
Oh man, Calvo was wasted.
Riddles was there as well.
I didn't see Riddles. I saw Flux.
How did you not see Riddles? He was in the front.
Mate, he
just
was
leaning
like the
back.
orchestrator of the whole LG or shit chance, etc. Fully
Yeah,
on board with
that's
them.
an ex-pro doing that. People don't know who Riddles are. Like, you have to go way back to kind of find him in Call of Duty history, but he's a very good friend of Tommy's.
He brought me. He was my first person that brought me into a pro team.
Hold on, you teamed with me before this.
Yeah, you were fucking dog shit.
Mate, half the time I wasn't even the problem in our teams. That's the crazy
I'm
thing.
joking, yo. Don't really joking, Ton. You, I just don't remember.
Alright, mate.
I was, if anything, I was pretty rubbish then. But,
You elevated. It's fine.
but yeah, back to conversation. Continue, Bryce.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so I think I wasn't sure whether I was going to cover this because it's essentially a minefield, and there's very little to be gained from discussing it and second guessing decisions that have already been made. But I do think we briefly have to touch on LG versus Faze.
Yeah.
Obviously, Faze very, very unhappy. It was very unfortunate for LG to do that against a fan favorite team, as is evident by what happened for the rest of the weekend. But here's the thing, right? Like, I would never, ever want to be in that position where I have to make a ruling, regardless of which way it goes. Like, nobody was ever going to be happy whichever way it goes. I don't know what happened backstage. I don't know. This is one of the reasons I don't want to talk right now. I don't know. I wasn't involved in the discussion for the ruling. I wasn't involved between either teams. I didn't even see it happen. So it's very difficult for me to give an opinion on stuff I just don't know. I don't know what the player said to the admins. I don't know who, we've got hearsay there on Twitter. People saying, oh, these guys were defending it, these guys were not defending it. I don't know. None of that I can confirm. I do think it's a very rare occurrence where something like this can happen, because it was basically like the game one way, but because it was objective based or whatever. I do think, because I've heard now it's been fixed.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that makes it better or worse, but I think for me, right now it's happened, and it sets a precedent for the future. So I'm hoping that this isn't an issue again, and it sucks that it happened to Faze.
I think
it sucks that it knocked them out of the tournament, but
yeah.
I don't know what more I can say on it because I wasn't involved.
Well, yeah, I would just like to give my opinion. I don't think the admins and all that stuff could have done anything more. I think the decision that they had to make was the correct one. But I think that now going forward, the process on bugs like this needs to be reevaluated and stuff like that, because realistically, there should be a direct contact with the developer at any event. There should be a direct contact ready to go, and it should be as simple as a phone call to bloody whoever, Vonderhaar, obviously not, but just someone in Treyarch, like, right, is the game supposed to award the win to the person that caps first or kills, even if the cap comes in, and then if they make the decision should be on them, because I guess the game is designed a specific way, and clearly with the most recent patch, they clearly wanted it to award to the person who caps first, but it just was a minor bug in the game. But I feel like.
Go on, sorry.
I feel like that should be evaluated going forward.
Just to quickly jump in on my point as well, I think somebody made the point in the chat, obviously, that it happened to LG previously in the tournament in pools. So obviously they had to go with the same decision that was made then as well, which could have obviously had a bearing. I think if that hadn't already happened to LG and that decision was made as to give whoever the game gave the round to, then I think we're looking at maybe a different scenario.
No, I agree. The fact that it happened to deny Leonard in the tournament, and also like it's one of these things, right? You never account for it. It's not something I would have ever considered in the last God knows how long. I can't even remember a thing like that. There's been in-game bugs before and stuff, and obviously that's had to be dealt with. But this was so on the line that it was very difficult for people to kind of quantify it. Now I know a lot of people saying, stuff had to be done, but I think the benefit of it is, as we move into the franchising next year, is obviously this is going to be a point made, and there'll be a rule about it somewhere. There'll be hard set in stone.
The thing is, for me, the thing that sucks about it the most is that's definitely happened online. Like, you think about how many people scrim every single day, how many maps get played every single day. That issue has definitely happened online, and no one went out their way to send it to anyone at MOG. The dev that I thought there was a glitch, I used to send it to. I can't remember his name, but no one sent it to him. Like, Control is the newest game mode in Call of Duty. Like, I brought up the fact that imagine that happened in Search and Destroy, where the bomb blows up, but the attacking team killed a player or something along those lines. But the best thing about that is S&D's been in Call of Duty for 10 years.
Yeah.
Those bugs ain't going to be there with Control, where it's so new and stuff.
Yeah, I just don't think anyone anticipated it.
Yeah, no one. But the thing is, like, I can guarantee that's probably happened online. Like,
I think
hasn't gone out their way to send someone. I know it's no one's fault, and maybe it shouldn't be there, but just where it's a new game mode, it kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think that ultimately, like, the decision, I understand why they've went that way with it, because that's what the game has said. Obviously, they've changed it now. I understand why people were pissed off. I understand why Faze were pissed off. For me, I would have liked to see the round be replayed. I think that would have been, for me, my decision. But then again,
but here's the thing. Here's the thing with all of that, right? Is people will always say this, and this is what bothers me: is we do not have a system in Call of Duty at the moment for resetting a game to its current game state.
Can't rewind.
That's map 5. That's specialists. That's even like your tacticals. It's everything. We do not have a system for it. So until that system's in place, I don't like replays of rounds. I just don't like them because it's so difficult to quantify everything. However, on that note, what I am going to do is move the discussion on, because I think we're going to circle the same decision over and over again. I just wanted to cover it briefly because I thought it is important, but I don't want it to overshadow the whole of CWL London. And then we're gonna move on to the more, what I like to call, the meat of the conversation. All right. On that note, you like me? And then, Marky, I saw you at the event. Let's talk about this now. Normally we just run through the teams and kind of talk about them in a generic way, but what I want to do first, change things up a little bit, is let's talk about the most disappointing pro team. Which team underperformed the most from where we expected them to be?
Oh, it's tough, isn't it, Mark?
I vote Splyce.
I vote Splyce.
Pissed off with Splyce.
Yeah,
I vote Splyce.
Somebody in the chat saying has to be denial. I don't think it does. I think it's their very first event.
think
It's disappointing, but
I feel like everyone expected a little too much out of Denial, to be honest.
yeah. I mean,
I seen on Hot Mic, somebody, I think Nameless or someone predicted them to win. I was mind blown. Obviously, they're
Jesus, no, I would have predicted that in a million years.
Someone predicted them to win on Hot Mic. I swear to God.
Was it Maven?
It wasn't Maven.
Maven said 100T.
It was Nameless or something. I expected a better. I expected like a top 8 from Denial. Like, to be honest with you, like a top 8.
Yeah, it's just too soon.
Somewhere around that.
I was expecting maybe a little bit more of Faze as well. I don't know why. I thought they could possibly push up into that top 8.
Mean, look, who knows how far they would have went, though, that's the thing.
Let's not go back.
It's a bit harsh. I thought Faze would have done better. No, I think Denial's a tough one, because when we seen their group, we said in the previous episode that we thought it's a very tough group, and if they didn't win a game in that group, we wouldn't be surprised.
Benson said Denial to win. I mean, that is shocking.
No, they were never going to win. But I did expect them to do a little bit better. They lost to Midnight, and they're a team they should be beating for me. So yeah, disappointment. I would say, and that's not just because you're here, Mark. I would say not on the level of Splyce. I would say that's Splyce probably were the biggest disappointment.
I'm going to talk about EG, because that team just can't seem to get anything going.
Again, though,
you've got a fucking app like trying to drag 4 other burgers. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Revan as well. Like, and there was so much hype up about Revan being a coach.
He needs to be looked at as well, man. It's disgusting.
Yeah, but I don't know. This is the problem right now. We've never really judged a team on its coach before. To be fair, in most sports you do.
I probably shouldn't say this, but I see on the first day, we're setting up, the players are allowed to warm up. I walk down to the venue, I see Bubble Day's like, oh, my team ain't here, they don't want to scrim today. What do you mean your team don't want to fucking scrim today? Get them fucking down here. How much are they getting paid? Like, it's ridiculous.
That's
Like,
weird.
don't say, "Oh, my team don't want to scrim today," or "I'm struggling to get them here. They were meant to
Depends
be
what
here."
teeth he's got, man. It depends what teeth. You don't know his situation in that org yet.
Oh, mate,
Like-
like at the end of the day, if I'm an org and I'm hiring a coach, I'm looking at the coach first and foremost to why, like, if stuff like that gets out, like, yeah, I've just put it out there. If stuff like that gets out, I'm looking at him every single day of the week. Make sure your plays are in line. We discussed this last week.
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
But I mean, the coaches don't have real power yet. Like that's not a big thing. He might just not have the power to do anything about it. Like he could moan to the higher ups, but if the players say no, I don't think Bobble's genuinely going to wrestle someone into the venue.
I know, but
That's
you'll,
actually
see, you'll,
a
see,
lot of
you'll,
these-
see, you'll see how quick Attach turns up, or let's say Exotic turns up when they get their salary taken away for the month and they can't go buy their Gucci bags and shit like that. You know what I mean? You'll see how quick they turn up. A lot
Yeah,
of
but
these
who's
people
saying
are
Revan has the power to do that? And also, another issue is that a lot of these players have been competing for years, and most of these players have never had like that sort of figure above them that would be able to do that. So like a
I'm
lot of them
sorry.
don't understand I don't really haven't came to
It's
grips.
in a team dynamics.
No. If you told me that was someone like an org like Denial or Midnight, then yeah, I can maybe understand it. Evil Genius, one of the biggest organizations in the fucking world, they have a structure for the Dota team, for any fucking team they've had, and it's worked in the past. Like, what do you mean? Like, what? Because it's COD, they're not going to enforce it? They're one of the biggest orgs in the world, literally.
I agree.
Like that structure doesn't just like what did they've won the international. How many times do you think their Dota coach has just been like, don't worry about it, guys, it's fine. Like, no, like the structure from a Dota team to a COD team when it comes down to coaches, managers, or whatever, it's got to be the same. Like, what? That makes no sense to me.
No, I get it. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just, like I said, right now we don't know Revan's situation. We don't know the internal power structure there. Maybe
Well,
next year I would say it was much more unacceptable.
I don't know about like the power.
I think it's
situation.
unacceptable in general. I think
Yeah.
I think the players should want to come there and scrim. That should just be the players shouldn't need the motivation for the coaches to go, yo, fucking get out of bed and scrim. Every single other top team was there scrimming. Every other top team scrimmed.
I mean, I think they did turn up to scrim in the end, but when I first saw him and heard that, I was like, fuck me, mate. Like, I'm not playing, and these fucking idiots are taking this for granted.
Well, maybe that's why we're going to see a bigger turnover of players next year. Like, you got to think of all that young talent waiting in the wings, and some of them, they ain't bad. They ain't bad. There's a lot of superstars right now, but there's also a lot of people who could quite easily drop out of being a pro like that. Like you're just gone. And part of me, while I don't want to see any of my friends lose a job or get anyone out of a job, I think they have to realize that. Like you have to be a model player coming forward with the responsibility of, a 40 billion franchising spot sitting on your shoulders.
Yeah. And I think it's one of these things that we'll see somebody have an example made of them at some point very, very soon. I think we need to, in all honesty. And I think if that happens, then everyone's probably going to book their ideas up. But then I suppose the punishment is from an org to org basis, isn't it? So it's difficult. But I agree. They should be considering their position, albeit they have made a couple of changes. Considering their position, they should be the first ones at the fucking venue. You know, you look at teams like who are at the top and have been for most of the year. You can sort of somewhat side with them, maybe having a day off. But teams who are way down at the bottom, you need to be improving, and they haven't.
Even my fucking Epsilon team, fucking when we was getting absolutely shafted last year on World War II, I was literally some days at the league, I was like the first or second person in there. Our game wasn't for like the third set of games. Like you just got to do those kind of things. If you know your team's
Did you see that picture of Joe I took at Vegas?
No.
Dude was in the venue like 2 hours before everyone else.
Yeah,
it was insane. I was like, what? Like that's
Swanee used to do it as well.
Yeah.
Even after a tournament, he'd be sitting there
sitting there shooting at champs. Like when he got knocked out on Black Ops 3, motherfucker got knocked out, came third at champs. I went backstage and started shooting bots. Like, yeah, it's a bit different because you just got knocked out of a tournament, but like, you just show some people fucking truly want it. Some people kind of want it. Some people are just literally there for a free fucking ride off their friends.
I think some people coast though. That's the problem. Like you get into a position
100%
where you're like, okay, we're being paid this money for doing this. I mean, a lot of people are guilty of it. You sort of sit in a row, you get comfortable. It can happen in any job where you do just start to coast.
There are
I've done it in previous jobs.
Dealing with a loss.
Yeah.
Or dealing with controversy. Some players get off that stage and bitch and moan about their teammates.
Oh, it's disgusting, mate.
Yeah, some sort of just try to shrug it off and and just not really bother with it too much. I think those are the worst ones, by the way. I'm fairly convinced that the best players take the losses the hardest.
Me, I've lost at an event. No, I've won at an event before. I've beat a team and I've went, fucking get the fuck outside right now to my whole team. Like it should, bro. It was at PLQ when we played Robbie B's team. We went last map with him, right? We won. Everyone was like relieved. I was like, get the fuck outside right now. That shit isn't gonna fly if we want to qualify. Like,
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous. Some people just like, and then if you lose, they don't want to talk about it, and they'll sit with their other little friendship groups, and it's just like, bro. At the end of the day, we're a team. Like, if you're not gonna do it for anyone else, at least do it for yourself, fucking self.
yeah.
Like, there's other people here. Like, don't be a prick. Don't sit there bitching about your teammates when you've got a match in an hour and a half. Like, what the fuck is that? It's just setting bad tones, and it's just gonna be a fucking domino effect.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think for me, it's curious to see how pros grow and adapt to that situation. Like I can remember Callum Swan, who was at CWL London, by the way, if you're lucky enough to see him. Callum Swan was, I can't remember which event it was. I want to say EGL London. I don't think he moved for like 3 hours after he lost.
Oh yeah, that was me.
He was still at his station for like 3 hours. Just couldn't bring himself to like move because he couldn't believe he lost. But on that note, I do actually want to talk about some of the other teams we spoke about. Splyce, Marky, I know you're here, and I know we have to talk about this. Is there anything you want to start with on this topic about Splyce? Because people thought this may be, gold for them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just think it was that Heretics series that could sort of, we had like that defining series that sort of came down to it at Fort Worth. We had denial. We went game 5. We managed to come back from like 4-1 down or something, game 5 to win. I just looked like we clutched up at all in those important maps and series this event. I think that's what it really realistically came down to. I know it shouldn't really come down to clutching sometimes. If you're like a tier 1 team, you should just be able to blow certain teams out, but the competition's really tough at the minute, and I just don't think I think there was a lot of things going against us as well. Lamar was like, honestly, online before the event, Lamar was like playing I would probably go out and say like the best, if not the second best in our team, considering his role as an ICR, which is obviously a very difficult role in this game. I think that he was coming into his own, playing great, like you've seen from World War II. And I think that he was very, very, like, the issue was he was very, very sick throughout the whole event, and it sort of threw him off. And I think that was also a factor. But obviously, you don't want to blame those things. You just want to, like, focus on what we can do going forward. I think there's a lot of things behind the scenes that we can do going forward to improve at a faster rate. We know we've got the talent to win, so that's our focus right now.
Yeah, I think it was really weird because you end up losing the GenG in groups. And I was like, I think GenG are very good anyway. So
they played good against us too.
Yeah, like, I wasn't surprised, but like it wasn't me going, oh my god, Splyce. I was like, I thought GenG looked fantastic coming into the event. I kept saying it. I thought GenG were going to do well. But here's the thing: you are right. It's that Heretics game. But I mean, Heretics started playing out their skin in. Like they just looked like the old Heretics.
I mean, me and Onset casted that one, and I think I was looking at the stats that you'd never lost frequency S&D until that point, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, we were undefeated on frequency S&D.
Yeah, and they beat you on that, and it was like, oh shit, like, yeah.
That was a weird one. They were all, we kind of knew they were like a half decent team on frequency. From just, I think the way you can actually sort of tell by that map, by the way teams play it, by the way they take control of the map, because that's realistically what it's about. If you can push out the map and take control of it. Not a lot of teams sort of try and play it like a normal S&D, sitting back and stuff like that. But I think we knew going in that they were going to be a decent team on that map.
Well, they're an aggressive team, aren't they? So they're going to run,
There was a couple of rounds here and there that we kind of messed up, and then third and fourth map, I think that we just majorly messed up on. To be honest with you, we were in prime position on a lot of the control rounds with numbers advantage and specialists and stuff like that, and just wasted our specialists. Then we'll go on to lose the round, and then the next round they would somehow perfectly use their specialists, get streaks. It was just like everything was just going wrong and everything was going right for them. And I think that, and then we obviously went on and lost to like the last map like by 2 points, 250 to 248 or whatever it was. I just think that there was just a lot of things that went wrong.
I'm not, this, by the way, I'm not sticking the boot in here, but after Heretics beat you, they didn't win a map for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean that's that's just the way Heretics are as a team. I think the
I mean, they went 9-1 in their group, though. That's the thing. Like, they come out, admittedly, Pool D, which 100% was the
Horrible.
weakest pool of this event.
yeah,
the
100%.
weakest pool I've seen this year.
Yeah, I think it was.
We kind of thought that as long as our sort of mentality going in, which is why we weren't really worried when we lost to GenG, was as long as we make it out our pool, we have quite a good chat. We have quite a good game one, even if it comes second. Usually, if you come second in pools, you've usually got quite a tough game round one. But obviously, we lost to them. But if you were looking at it beforehand, if you offer me Heretics round one of the bracket, you take it. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we definitely were very happy with the way it worked out. In terms of the groups, we looking down the line, we knew we just had to beat either LG or GenG, and we would be Gucci.
So let's move on from Splyce, because that's a lot of Splyce, so I've still got more topics to go through. I want to talk about this next team, and controversy aside, LG still didn't do very well considering what I was expecting.
Yeah, what somebody brought up, I mean, I don't want to put Nick under the bus here, but it was like I think Classic had like the third lowest KD at the event or something like that.
Oh,
Let's
Nick's
be
a
honest.
fucking burger, mate.
Let's be honest, the Rampart was a massive factor at Fort Worth.
Apparently.
I honestly believe we would have. I still think that we would have won Fort Worth if the Rampart wasn't a thing, and I'll argue this till the very end. But anyway, yeah, obviously that was a massive factor in this gameplay.
But if there is such a factor, this team must be like, what on earth do we do now? Because that screams roster change. It screams it. Like if they think that's the issue, like I don't know whether the team think that's the issue internally or not, or whatever, or what's changed. If LG have gone, the meta's changed, and we are not good enough on this new meta. It says roster change.
It took Nicky D to drop. What did he drop at Dallas? What was his KD? Like 1.4
1.45 on Sunday.
Like when Nicky D's doing that, like to win you a tournament, like I mean, bro, you look at the team got Gunners Formal, John. Like I'm sorry, that team should be winning with whoever they're fucking playing with. I rate them three so fucking high. Like if you chucked in a Decimate in there and let's just say, bro, if you chucked a Decimate in there and then the fucking for shits and giggles, you could put fucking Whalers in there and they'll still win. Like I'm not even joking.
So yeah, just to back up what I said there. Classic had a adjusted kill. I don't know what the difference is between adjusted and a standard KD. I don't know if adjusted.
It puts more weight into S&D, I think.
Ah, okay.
That makes more sense.
So adjusted KD was a 0.79, which was 5th worst. Reedy be happy
Who
with.
was the worst?
The worst was Knight from Midnight. I'll forgive him because he was a pickup. I'll forgive him.
Alright, who was the one above that?
Methods from Heretics. Then the third one will surprise you, actually.
Go on.
Zed.
Fuck, he had a bad event.
He had a really bad event. And then
that explains so much about Reciprocity's event. Like
Tommy was 8th worst. So, but then who was 4th worst? Reedy. Who do you think?
Who?
Who do you think was 4th worst?
If you're asking Reedy, it's
your best pal.
Oh, 8.
It was indeed, yeah.
Yeah, but they came 4th. I was actually fucking getting heated when they were doing well. But then again, they have fucking Desi. Like I don't really.
Oh mate, how
really
good
well.
was Desi? Anyway,
really well.
we're getting off topic because we're gonna flip the script now and talk about teams that surprised us and did better than we expect. Let's kick it off because it is only slightly because a lot of people did think they would do very well this event. 100 Thieves. Let's kick it straight off with the champions.
I mean, I wasn't too surprised. I was surprised after they had already lost to Optic that they went on to then beat them again, though.
There was some hype behind them, though. Like, even though like the crowd was against them, which was the most surprising thing.
Yeah,
I know my dog was sitting in the green room going, "Why do you guys hate us?"
Oh, you weren't. I thought you were going to do an American accent, and was very disappointed that you did.
I was tried. It didn't work very well. He was like, "Why does the UK scene hate us?"
I don't think the hate.
Why was Eric in the green room? I'm done.
I think it was just the matchups.
Kicking him out.
Yeah, that's the thing. They went up against E United and 100 and Optic, didn't they? So
yeah.
Clay's a massive fan favourite. Optics are fan favourites.
Like, and
then people support the underdogs too. So.
Yeah,
I think it's because 100 Thieves get like really gassed by the American fans, and like UK fans especially just love an underdog. You're just never gonna vote for the big dog unless you're up there because there were so many Optic fans in attendance.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say one of my surprises of the tournament was Optic. They haven't had a good event since Vegas, and they came 3rd.
Yeah,
I know with that roster, it's never a surprise, but they haven't looked good for a while.
I thought they were winning the event.
Do you know who I'm a bit way upset with?
Go on.
Fucking Enigma 6, that team's actually really fucking good. I don't think
Why did they finish?
16th. They came last.
Well,
Did Alex
didn't
also do
expect
bad?
Had it.
That's also Alex didn't have a good event.
Alex had
I
a bad
mean,
event. Yeah,
like,
he was a 0 point.
I don't know, man. Like,
adjusted.
fucking. Oh my god, I'm just stressing me out that I'm not playing.
But no, I would say 100 Thieves. I think it was great to see Thieves get their first chip, and I was very happy to see all the kind of the social media stuff come out from them. The Nature Enable photo chip was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But other than that, going straight to second, E United coming second was a shock for me.
Yeah, I mean, especially because
I mean, they have a fucking glitch on their team. I mean,
which one?
He's always about Sim, right?
No, Sim was insane.
He was.
and then they've
so
got fucking.
good.
Oi, and check this. They actually got a coach who's not a fucking best friend or someone, and actually knows what they're talking about, and they bang the second. Shout out fucking Bryce for center.
What I will say is that they didn't look good the first 2 days. I think we cast over them a couple of times on Bravo.
I never thought they'd look dominant the entire event. They just kept like having these close games and just coming out on top. I was like, oh, I think first day or second day, I actually said, wow, they're coming like top 8, like maybe top 6. That's as far as they're going to go because they're not smashing anybody. No. I don't think they really smashed anybody for the majority of the event.
Yeah, well, because I mean, the miner just made a point in the chat. There it was the first game on Bravo. You casted because I remember specifically because I cast like shit, but also because Envy. Of course. Of course. Yeah. But Envy roasted them. Absolutely roasted them.
Yeah, but it's the first game of the event, mate. How many times have you seen teams just come into an event flat?
I know, but they didn't seem to like even their second game. It was just meh. They looked like E United. They looked like they were going to finish top 8 at best, and then they just got it rolling. I will say I think they had a slightly easier side of the bracket. I'm not going to give them I'm not going to take away from them too much, but I didn't think their games were the hardest they could have been. I'm going to double check that before I talk shit, but yeah, I mean they just performed when it mattered. At the end of the day, you get the Sunday and see what happens.
Yeah, I think I still it was crazy like how close their games were, and if you go back and watch.
Mike. We'll let him sort that out while I find out. Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, there we go. We're back. Sorry, I'm just checking what E United's run looked like. So they had to play. Well, shit. Yeah, actually, I remember that one as well. They played against Midnight and only won 3-2.
Yeah, right. This is what I'm saying. Denial, they dropped them. No, sorry, that was the wrong bit I'm looking at there. Reciprocity, some of their games were close. I remember that as well. Heretics, they won 3-0, but obviously that was like Heretics just seemed beaten for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. Then they managed to 3-0 Envy. Like they started looking better the further in the tournament they go.
Yeah.
But I was never convinced for the rest of it. Like they were going to win the tournament. Because normally you get a feel for teams, right? You can go like, well, this team's playing out their mind. Like I thought Optic were like, oh, it's going to be Optic winning again. Big surprise. Obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, they 3-0 the last 3 games until they got beaten in the final, of course. But yeah, I think you put Clayster on the stage as well, and it like brings out a different him. But Simp was just fucking. I mean,
but we watched him in like last tournament, and we didn't know whether or not people were saying, you can't judge them when they're not against pro teams. The Simp is ridiculous. Yeah. Like
him and Cell
not even close.
Were the outstanding pair, so to speak, when they played in the open bracket. But yeah, looked really, really good.
He's a fast player as well. Yeah, got a lot of fast player on this game.
But he knows his stuff in S&D as well, which always helps. But yeah, he looked really, really good.
I can't think of a player outside of Simp who did more to generate a fan base this weekend.
He had an adjusted KD of 1.45. It is the largest by 0.12.
Not even a surprise.
No,
honestly, if E United ended up winning the event, it would have been him for MVP, and it wouldn't have been. Yeah. I thought Abizi did well.
Yeah.
I think Clayster had a few good maps with the Maddox. I don't think he was that consistent, but he had a few good maps. Arcees was Arcees as usual. Like Arcees is a god. I don't care what he says. He deserves to be up there in those.
Well, I think
that's your mic, Bruce. Wait, is it your mic?
No, I'm still here.
No, it's good.
I was watching.
The Arcees is really good. I think in terms of ICR, like he does pretty much as good as you can be doing.
Yeah, I think so. I think outside of that, who else did better than I expected?
I mean, it was a good result for Heretics.
Heretics, yeah, I'm gonna say Heretics. That's the highest placement for them, right?
Yep. Yeah, they finished top 8.
Yeah, Journey was a
Finished top 6.
Top 6.
Top six, mate. It was even better than that. Journey was a glitch. I think Journey had the biggest kill streak at the event as well. 18.
What's an effort?
Was that against?
I think that was against.
Splyce.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was against Midnight. It was against Midnight because I backed out of doing what could have been either a great clip or a very cringy clip. Towards the end of his 18 kill streak, I almost started singing "Journey's on the Midnight Train going anywhere," but I restrained myself to not ruin the moment of his 18.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. To be fair,
I would have nailed it.
Yeah, I'm glad.
So instead, I just reverted to use it as a pun on the analyst afterwards. But no, Team Heretics looks.
it's just always about you, isn't it? Oh my god.
It's always isn't it?
I can't think of anything else. Reciprocity came exactly where I thought they would do.
Wait, what?
Top 8.
Wait, hold on. Last week, who was gassing them up saying fucking? And I literally said, you don't know how practice has been going. Was it
Who
you,
said
Ton, or
that?
was it you, bro?
I think
like it was Tom.
I think I guessed
Wait,
them up
hold
to get
on,
out of the group. But I've always said that I feel like Reciprocity.
I guess some of it. I thought they were going to finish
Reciprocity,
like top 6, top 8.
Oh, I thought.
Top 6
I mean,
is where
I
I would
wanted
put
them
them.
to do fucking second.
But I wouldn't really. I wanted them to make the final because of the UK event. But them and United, I kind of put middle of the pack. And after finding out the stats with like Tommy and Zed, I'm surprised it's even like that high.
Yeah.
Like if they weren't playing that well at all. I think I also said when we discussed it is Reciprocity made so many game 5s at their last event that I was very worried about them this event because I don't know if they could do it again.
Well, the problem is that they didn't win too many respawns. So,
Of course not when you got like big guns just not able to drop numbers. Like it's curious to see what happens now.
saying that, actually, yeah, their S&D was absolutely horrible. Never mind. 1 in 5 in S&D over the event.
You're not getting anywhere with that.
That's horrible. And that's what they sort of relied on.
Yeah. Still come top 8, so. As someone saying Journey needs a weapon and not crash, I mean, yeah, in fairness, that's a good call.
I know, but you get.
Unbelievable.
Journey
Yeah.
was playing out of his mind.
But you don't need to give it to him. He can do it with his weapon. Give it to somebody else. Well, I'm sure. Does the Methods not run? Do I want to say that he runs battery?
No, Methods is grapple, mate.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I like the fact that Journey's on Crash. You probably
Yeah.
gonna get it three times a game.
Exactly.
Like for someone like Methods, who is actually being a bot recently, like give him an extra 50 health, he might be able to win a big. He might be able to win a big gunfight.
Yeah, Crash is probably the most underrated specialist for the fact is if he's used correctly, it's pretty much a guaranteed hill break. Whereas things like War Machine, etc., can easily be countered, and it's kind of hard. You might pull out, and then a trophy system just drops down there. Do you know what I mean? So I think that it's pretty underrated a lot of the time.
No, I think so. I think it's very interesting to see who wants what a lot of the time in these teams. Because it does come down to personal preference. Like if you see your teammate not make a couple of grab stabs, like I can do that. It's like you literally press 2 triggers, people die. That must go on a lot in teams, like a lot, right? So I'm always curious to see how those kind of change ups go. Because you also got to justify it. Like if you're like, oh, I need this because I'm going to be able to get kills and stuff with it. It's very curious to see how it goes down. I'm trying to see if anybody else who really stuck out to me this event.
Nah.
Other than like looking at the new rosters, like I know a lot of eyes were on Faze and Denial.
Talking from like solo players or?
Well, I tell you what, let's talk about solo players actually. Let's talk about Octane. MVP.
Octane was fucking awesome all weekend long.
It's the older, you know, back when it was an LG, the meme, and someone made a flowchart whether or not LG would win the event. Is your boy LaRue shredding? If the answer is yes, you're winning the event. He is insane. He is like one of the most valuable players, period, because he has that impact on teams. Not to say that the rest of 100 didn't play well, because they did, and the fact that this preacher thing's finally come through for him, which we thought it would. He's fantastic.
That clip where he I think he kills a Beezy or something like that on Gridlock. I seen a couple of them like yesterday. I think Mud Dog might have posted or something. It literally looks like his game's playing at a different pace to everyone else's. It was like it was aiming in like his centre and was just the most perfect thing I've ever seen.
What do you think? Mud Dog tweeted it. I'm gonna try about it.
Yeah, have a look. It looked weird. I don't know if it was because of the speed up of the kill cam or something, but
that's a good point in the chat. Hook played shit in comparison to how he usually does. So, I
think before he was just the main. He was the main.
Do you think
that guy?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
he was that guy before.
I don't know though.
Estimate now.
A lot of people gassing up 100 to go after this event, like saying, Kenny's back to form. It's very curious how people just like literally just flip flop on players like that. Oh, he's great. He's the worst. He's best. He's awful. Like straight away before the event even ends. Like, it's insane how quick that goes. I still think these teams did a fantastic job to hold up against the crowd if the crowd was against them. Like playing Optic at this event was harder than probably most events, because although the most North American events the Optic fans are loud, at this event you were just going to get chanted at from the word go. But maybe some players like that. Maybe they gasses them up.
Yeah, here's the thread. I'm linking it.
My team was playing during the Optic Rec match. Was there like what was the crowd like for that one?
I think it was insane.
It was on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a ton of people in the venue, but I still heard it was good.
Was it but like in terms of was it like 50-50? Like was it more rec sided? Was it more Optic sided?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't.
I think we were casting.
We were casting at the time, so neither me or Tunn can ask you for that.
Yeah.
All I know it was noisy. That's all I know what happened.
Yeah, look at that clip. How weird does that look?
It's the second one that's mad. It's like when he zeroes in on the one under the truck is just like oh.
I think the first one's that kill on the guy at the pillar just looks weird.
That pillar, let's say. I don't want to put the sound on because then everyone on the stream is going to hear it as well.
Yeah, that is insane.
Oh, good lord, yeah, the fucking hell. He's shit on him. Properly shit on him.
Like, that's not even...
Who's he playing against? I can't see because I don't want to open up the clip as it'll just...
United.
Holy shit.
That is...
always a busy.
Yeah. Like, what are you going to do when you got an ICR just pulling that off? Like, you can't even challenge him on anything. That's ridiculous.
You put MarkyB there, I bet MarkyB shot.
Oh, yeah, I would have won that gun. That would have been pre on the right side. Crazy.
Shit.
Dexo exclusive. MarkyB accuses Octane of cheating. Get that right up. Who else stood out for this event? Some people I want to talk about Hook, because people say he maybe didn't go in as much, but I think that's maybe because his teammates had I feel like Envy had a better tournament overall without relying on like one player or two players there. Like, because Decimate was good as well.
Yeah, he was behind Decimate for AKD. I know, obviously, we don't want to read too much into KD, etc., etc. But
the game's just fucking team deathmatch. Let's look at KD. Go on.
I mean, we've scrimmed Envy a lot, and I sort of noticed Hook playing like a little differently, baiting his team a lot less, just going in first and being sort of that bait for the likes of Silly and Decimate, obviously. I think that he's just, in general, just with this new roster, has had a role where he's not expected to go off as much. And I think Ferro played good too.
He did play good. I think Ferro maybe didn't play as well on Sunday when it got to the very end, but on Friday.
What you're saying is he's a bottle job on Sunday. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying he's a bottle job, but
Chris Tunn just say when it comes down to the nitty gritty, he's not up to it.
But what I've seen is on the last day, I'm sure.
Get us on Reddit.
I forgot to say that's what I said. I just said from what I remember, I'm sure I've seen him not have a pretty bad series against. I want to say it was United.
I really want a soundboard now. It just flashes up the Deserto logo on screen and goes Deserto exclusive. Just every time someone says anything remotely controversial.
I could arrange that, but you best believe Mike Kent's asking me for royalties as soon as I do. Right, well, I say royalties from Spitfire, which is absolutely zero.
We'll just call it Deserto and use the old logo. They can't do anything. No,
we might get sued by that company.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. If they're watching Spitfire, I'll be very much shocked. But I think I'm trying to look down the list of players. Someone said Brack played good, but I mean it's very subjective when a team comes top 16.
He had a 1.3 and they came top 16.
Yeah, he's fucking
He's
pretty fucking good. Like,
he's fucking mint, isn't he?
he's pretty fucking good. Like,
Yeah. Just I want to see what happens to Denial with a bit of time. I still think it's a disappointing result from them, but I want to see what happens over time. I think apparently Bance had an alright event from.
Apparently, he played a lot better.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it.
Okay, well, he's had a 0.87 adjusted.
Okay, maybe not better. But people saying he looked better. Apparently, I don't know.
He played really well against our team, even though we won 3-0, but he's played good.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. Because I remember that was first game, and I really wanted to watch it, but didn't get a chance to.
Here's the thing about Bance right now, and this is gonna be. I'm gonna be accused of favoritism because of it, but I'm gonna say it regardless. I think Bance is a good bet right now because he's basically had his world shook in the last 3 months. He, when they were talking about dropping him, when they're talking about rid of him, I don't think you're going to find a player that's going to be as hungry to prove himself as Bance is right now. He knows he has to make all the right moves and play bloody well every single game because his career is up for grabs. Like he knows if it goes too badly for him and he gets dropped, he may struggle to find another offer.
Well, the thing is, offer. Yeah, the pressure's on pretty much everybody now, to be honest with you, because obviously with it going into franchising next year, you want to get yourself up the rankings, so to speak, as much as you can. But I'm just looking at. I was quite surprised to not see. I haven't seen one tweet from Reece Price since they came to 16, which surprises me. I want to know what he thought
now.
I think he has. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing for him to do. But I think they would have been disappointed with it irrelevant. But as I said, I hope that they sort of say it to themselves. The same we're saying is that, look, the first event, they didn't have much practice. They felt good, didn't go great, but find out what happens next event.
Yeah. Right, before we move on, anybody else think of any other players that stood out?
Nah, mate, nah.
Nah, G.
Maybe a B for me, but
Dashy looked great, but no surprises there.
Oh yeah, I mean that's not even a shock anymore, is it?
No.
TJ was unreal.
TJ did play well.
Yeah, TJ Enable. I know there's been a lot of negativity thrown towards Crimsix recently.
I would just like to throw out an award, by the way, for the event. I think best haircut in the event has to go down to that MarkyB fella. He's quite clearly the best part of the venue.
I'll be honest with you, I'm shocked you saw him because I didn't see him all event. So
yeah, no, he literally security weren't gonna let him in if it was a homeless geezer. Had to come straight out.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Enable played well.
Yes,
big factor. He played pretty well for a guy with one thumb.
Bro, I know.
The glitch, mate. I'm telling you.
But yeah, like I think
so much control over that fucking right arm.
People gas that no thumb business. He's got perfect aim with that shit.
Yeah, I think it was Mad Cat tweeting on Saturday saying if Enable keeps playing like this, it's fucking choked for the comp because like the rest of that team, you always know they're gonna look great. But yeah, if Enable's playing like that, you are nice in it.
Really, it sounded almost like you were suggesting there that people, if you cut your thumb off, you may have a better time playing Call of Duty. Like, I feel like that's where you were going.
He's got a glitch.
I've considered it.
In his thumb, I don't care, bro. Like he was a Halo world champion. Do you know how hard it is to be good at Halo with one thumb? Motherfucker's a beast.
He won a few, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he was a fucking tank on Halo.
No, I know. I knew he was a tank, but
and then he comes over to COD and he's just winning chips left, right, and center. Like fucking what? Bullshit. I think we should look at him and have him banned for it. I don't think it's right.
I don't think there's ever a conversation where you can go.
He's cheating. He's got half a thumb.
You're technically, not having that makes you a better player. Get out of here. Like I'm just not sure that's.
It's very impressive. Let's be honest.
It is impressive. It is impressive.
It's still a glitch. I don't care what it goes.
I want to say I'm curious how many Halo events he did actually win. Bro, he won a few. MLG Dallas 2011, MLG Winter 2012.
He won 4 events.
AGL Atlanta, yeah, bro. Team of Pistola, formal height, and my guy. Right. Wow, he's so young as well when he played. Holy shit.
Yeah, you absolutely loved it.
No, I did remember. Like I remember when he came over and he just started a fry, didn't he? Yeah, he's done well. He's done really well. A lot of people who've done well at Halo have done well over here.
Yeah, what's next on the agenda, Bryce? Go and host.
Oh well, we're just gonna. Yeah, that's right. All right, MarkyB. Jesus, you don't like Enable or
Look at
something?
him, he's pushing him
Hell.
on.
Just,
but
oh,
I
here we
feel
are,
a
all
little
gassing,
bit
all gassing up Enable, and he's just going, I'm going to put up with this dickhead. I don't like him very
I
much.
feel like we've been gassing Enable for the last 5 minutes, man.
Yeah, we have.
Turn enough about Enable.
Well, it's from one gas to another. It's fun to talk about what I think was the MVP, the crowd. I know it sounded good on stream, but nothing prepared you how good it sounded in the venue.
It was so loud.
It started on the Friday, and it was pretty good on the Friday. But on the Sunday, by 10 a.m., the place was rocking.
Well, after the open bracket finals.
After the open bracket, then it was rocking because that was the worst open bracket game I've ever seen.
Horrible.
Yeah, we can cover that briefly actually before we go into the crowd.
I was fairly. I was ready for you to
Wait, no,
literally
why does
choke
everyone
me
saying
out.
Aspire?
It wasn't Aspire.
Oh, sorry,
Kairos. I was pretty much ready to let you choke me out.
It was
that must have
possibly
been
the
tough,
worst game I've ever seen.
That must have been tough. 3-0, 3-0. Hold tight,
It wasn't even close.
Oh my
mate.
god, oh my god, oh my god. So right, listen, before that game, right, last night, the night before fucking Mindfreak are playing Kairos, yeah? They're playing Aspire. And it's gone last map, and we wanted to start the game quickly. And then Shocks wanted to go toilet, and someone said nah to him, and he just turns to me and went, Reedy. I went, what? He went, show me where Scumpy pisses so I can fucking go toilet. Right. It was
funny.
you won't understand it unless you was there, but the way he said it in his accent, show me where Scumpy pisses.
Man, did you not hear the listening?
Oh, what, when he's like when he says the C word?
Yeah.
He did say the C word.
He's dropping this. Oh, it's the C word.
Yeah,
After the first 5 minutes.
This is a more mature, sophisticated Spitfire.
Yeah. I'm not gonna just sit there saying the word cunt.
Brilliant.
Oh,
Right.
shit, my bad.
Season 2's kicked off the exact same way Season 1 ended. But no, here's the worst thing was because it was like first out the gate, Kairos would and it's not bad players in that roster either. That's the thing that really bugged me is they've got all the way to the grand final, and then they just look terrible. And here's the worst thing: even watching the game, you can just tell the decisions they're making are wrong, and then they're losing all the gunfights. And honestly, at one point, I wanted to just go after the first best of three. I was like, maybe we should just let them go home. They just don't seem like they really want to play that much.
Yeah.
It was every so often you see a flash of they've broken it and they've lost it again.
They look good for the first rotation of frequency hardpoint. That was it. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I think we both. That was initially what made me think, oh, this will be a good series. Because I mean, to be honest, I thought it was going to be anyway, especially with Mindfreak coming from losers, thinking that they have to win 2 best out of 5s, and I thought that was possible. Clearly, it was. But I think the first rotation they came frying. Hawkey was not Hawkey. Well, they all look good. They all look really good. And then
here's the thing: B-Sport was standing out on that team for a good part of it.
Which is probably
a few good maps. He was looking like the best player. I just don't know. I just don't know what happened to Kairos in that grand final. It was genuinely painful to watch to the point where I wouldn't even say go back and watch the VOD to see how bad it was. Just ignore it ever happened because I'm trying to erase it from my memory. It is easily one of the worst late game things I've ever seen or ever watched.
Yeah, it was horrible. Because I remember being excited, thinking, yeah, we got a UK team in, we got the crowd early in the morning, let's just try and warm them up for the rest of the day. Be a nice fun cast.
Yeah. Here's the thing, you can cast one-sided games because you can get gassed for one team just absolutely bodying another team. But when you just see it was just not good. It was just not a good watch. It just wasn't. No. And I'm fairly certain they must have looked much better all the rest of the tournament. Maybe it was just an off morning, and once you go an off morning, you can't really come back from it. Anyway, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about that game anymore.
No, wait, what do you mean? We'll cover the open bracket. Fuck's sake!
What?
What?
What are you saying?
What am I saying? Mindfreak deserved to win that shit. They were beasts.
Oh, of course.
No, I'm not saying that. I wasn't saying that at all. It was horrifically one-sided.
Oh, I mean,
Mindfreak deserved to win it. As far as I'm concerned, the only team who turned up to the final.
Yeah, the thing is with Kairos is fucking, you got a lot of tilt players in that team. Tilt off the face of the earth players. I don't think
I tilted anymore, mate. They'd be put upside down.
Can I just interject here? What's Kairos' roster?
It was B Sport, Wee Man,
Nolson,
and Nolson. So I'm saying tilt players on that.
That's 4 players. Who's
I was about to say that's only 4 players, and now I can't remember who the next player is.
Cammy.
Cammy
Cammy.
MVP. There we
I don't
go.
really know much about Cammy, but yeah, I can confirm there's definitely some top players on that team.
So they probably like
Wasn't
as
good.
soon as that first best of 5 was over, like B-Sports the only one there with really experience of winning events.
Yeah, B-Sport's usually the one winning the back-to-back best of fives.
Yeah, so like
the opposite.
he was looking to his left and seeing fucking Cammy MVP, and then looking to his right and seeing Knowlton like boys, like let's fucking go, come on.
And he's looking over his shoulder, seeing Cam Swan and just hoping he sits down.
Wonder where Mad Cat's got to at this
He
time
sees
of day.
Mad Cat over his left shoulder, sees Cam Swan over his other, he sees Tommy on main stage, you're like, fucking
Yeah.
sit down, lads.
Yeah, these are my ex-teammates. What you get on the sticks, please.
But so I generally like if they got a bit more experience and like they were in situations like that, it probably would have been a better final. But Mind Freak were just too much from the handle, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, back to the crowd. Here's one thing that's been bothering me. Some fans or people at home seem to think that the crowd was disrespectful. And at points I can see it, but a lot of the time it's just English banter.
Yeah, it's just fun.
I heard you're only good for tapas towards Heretics. players.
Oh, I didn't hear
Hello.
that.
So, I mean, yeah, it's a bit disrespectful.
Yeah, at points.
yeah.
I can get it at points. At points.
It has to be like.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear
No,
that.
because I remember watching the Heretics Optic game and thinking they're being a bit harsh to the 20 family members of Heretics.
Was I casting? I might have been casting.
I think you were casting.
So I didn't see.
Because I went out thinking, all right, because only all EU team left. Is there going to be any love? And there was zero. The Optic fans were.
I rescind my statement. Then, yeah, there was some
to the point of where the Heretics fans were getting loud before the game started, etc.
Actually, no,
they were singing. They were singing to them and say, like, "Yo, we're not singing anymore" and shit like this. And I was like, "Bro, there is like literally 1,500 Optic fans and 20 Heretics fans. Like, come on." They've got to be a bit fair.
Everyone always assumes it's EU versus any realistically, but it's realistically a lot of these fans are UK fans. They're not there to watch the fucking the Spanish team.
I know. I just would have liked to see a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of a bit annoyed at the fact that the crowd weren't getting behind Heretics a bit more.
Yeah.
But then again, like you said, like they're there to see, like they've been following Scumpy and fucking all these fuckers for so long now. Their loyalty lays with them. Like Method has been really the only player in the EU that's been around for a long time from that team.
Now I think about it, I completely rescind my statement. There were a few chants this weekend that may have gone across a line.
The one that somebody's just pointed out in the chat was really the main one.
Yeah.
What was the main one?
That's reminded me of
the slasher is a pedo.
That was horrific. That was bad. I was staring at the crowd going, why? Why are you doing it? We've had such a great event. The chants have been fantastic, and then you're just gonna throw shit out that is horrific.
And the thing is, Slasher's the most nice guy in the world as well.
Exactly.
It's not even like maybe if it was someone else that's a bit of a dick, then you'd be like, fair enough. But Slasher's one of the soundest guys in the scene. Almost like he's just a straight up guy.
Sometimes the crowd were a bit bullying towards 100 Thieves fans as well. Like the
girlfriend. Oh my god!
I was like, please don't anyone throw anything. For God's sake, nobody throw anything.
Yeah, but that's just Scott.
I was expecting a pint to come flying out of the crowd.
In fairness, it was literally just like a football game.
Yeah, it was.
That's just sort
of.
I
think it was the most party atmosphere I've experienced at an event.
Well,
just imagine the beer wasn't £5 a pint. Oh,
6.
Well, they emptied the venue. They emptied it. There was no draft left.
Oh, imagine it was like £3. Oh, that would have been messy.
Oh.
So I heard. So this is an interesting chant. I heard. So someone said it was enable has a boner. Someone said enable. The actual chant was enable dropped a donut, and I don't know which it was because I couldn't tell from the chant. I just heard enable something, and then repeated.
That was the thing. I think it's like one side starts it and the other side thinks what they hear and etc. But yeah, it was. I sort of felt a bit sorry for I know that LG got fortunate with how they went through. And then the whole LG carry-on started. By the way,
it wasn't even fucking like...
It wasn't their fault, though, was it?
Do you think LG went backstage and went to Faze like, we're having that? Like, I mean, yeah, I get it, it's part of the fun and stuff. But
do you know what it was? It was just as soon as it started, that was it. People were like, this is a lot of fun. We're just gonna shout this all weekend. Yeah, and then obviously Tommy laid the boat in, and then it became a full-time meme.
Yeah, as soon as I mean, supporting against LG while they were playing and stuff, fair enough. But like after that, I feel like it was just about OTT on the LG chants. Like, well, there's other teams playing and shit like that.
It was like, oh well, we can't think of what to chant, and it was like, who do we think of shit? Just start again.
By the way, I as much as I don't agree with what Tommy did because he was just stirring the crowd up, I have to respect the cojones to go on stage and do that.
It was
like I couldn't even. I wouldn't even
CWL was like, shit. What's he doing?
Just like, oh my god.
You know what would be funny if it was Marky? The crowd would have stayed silent, but because it was Tom, they fucking got behind it.
He could have said anything.
So funny.
He could have started the slash. It was a pedo chant, and they all would have went amongst it. Would have been fine.
I apart from like the fact it got a bit out of hand chanting wise, I appreciate the crowd so much.
Oh yeah.
Because you could feel it through the entire venue. Everyone was like smiling constantly. It was such a palm atmosphere. The fact when I think Tunn summed it up best when we were casting our game, going the best British thing we've seen this morning is 4 guys in banana suits with a chili drinking a beer, and it's 20 past 10 in the morning. Like that's exactly how it's going to kill. It's Guy and Foster's thing. You know, the crowd.
Who's the casino with that on, by the way? How did he get into the casino with the
Foster's
thing on?
Question.
I was seeing people getting KB'd from the casino, and then I was at the bar in there, and then this bloke just comes up to me in a Foster's uniform, and I was like, "How the hell did you get?"
Block.
I was like, he was absolutely steaming as well, like falling over the place. Because he left. He's like, MarkyB. I'm like, yo, how did you get in here with that on? And he was like, apparently he just took it off and whacked it back on when he got in. And he kept getting kicked out as well every time I put it on, but he just kept coming back in and kept putting it back on.
I think Martin Wyatt, big shout out to him. He warmed the crowd up as well. Like they had games, but people would have seen this at home. But there was games.
He loves that shit.
Like every 4-minute break. I don't know how Martin did games in 4 minutes. But he was like, right, he just went into the crowd, basically just like threw people onto the stage. Like, right, we're playing games.
In fairness, they do that at MOG events as well.
No, I've seen it. But usually the breaks are longer. I'm talking like he did this in like no time at all. And it wasn't like MOG they'll do like a quick push-up competition or a quick shout out for the crowd of loud cheering. Martin had like full like 7 people on stage doing stuff.
Yeah, but Martin's amazing, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, but I suppose you can talk about what one of the other surprising standouts one everyone thought was going to play well. Fucking Neil.
Neil.
How the fuck did that happen?
I don't even understand this Neil thing because I wasn't in the venue, so I don't even know who Neil is.
I was in the venue and I don't understand it.
Yeah, because it must have started in one of the games beforehand.
Someone pointed out Neil, and then that was it.
But is he someone's dad or something?
Yeah, it's somebody's dad.
It's just his dad's going with him, and then that was it. As soon as Neil was pointed out, he became a fan favorite, and it was all about Neil for the rest.
Question: how did they figure out his name was Neil?
I don't know, mate.
Because he just looked like a Neil, didn't he? He was just
like just a fucking
his name was the old game was fucking best friend.
Martin spoke to him during a break. That's how.
Oh, I see. Right, because
I highlighted him in the crowd, and then that's unreal. It was unreal. I'll be honest with you.
Unreal.
Towards the end of the event, I did get touched in the face a lot. I didn't really appreciate that.
Yeah,
I love meeting the fans. I love taking photos. But there were a few very drunk people who I was fairly convinced were like just rubbing things on my face. I was like, I don't really appreciate this. I don't need to full body hug you and you to touch me that much.
All right, we get it. People want it to hug you.
All right, we get it, Bricey.
Yeah. It's just such a distraction when I'm trying to take photos, sign autographs.
All these autographs, man. I was on a blade of fucking.
However, best crowd in COD history.
100%.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, up there with some of the best ESWCs.
I just want,
ESWC. The big ESWC one was pretty gassy, but I don't know, it was a bit different.
That was pure noise and volume.
Yeah, it was just noise. It wasn't like chant.
Was it the one that we went to, Mark?
Yeah, that wasn't like
that was fucking playing.
That was loud, but not coordinated chants, which I thought was.
Oh wait, when they got the Vitality on the go when we was playing.
Vitality.
Yeah, when they had that on the go, fucking crazy, but definitely the best crowd we've ever had. And I don't think anywhere will be able to rival it either. Like fucking, I saw Adam saying about Anaheim and stuff like that.
I just hope it sets a precedent.
American banter is just shite. They ain't gonna be. They like if you had their NFL games chants and stuff like that. Taylor's American. She's like, I don't even know what chants they say again.
I've went to a few American like soccer, football games. Not
And it's awful. Mark, do you remember when we went to the Seattle game? And you
yeah.
had that fucking absolute
Seattle Sounders.
Oh, bah.
That's what it was the whole time.
Here's two reasons why American events aren't as good. One is the soccer thing, or football, as I will continue calling it from this point. The other is that generally their crowds are quite a bit younger.
Oh.
No, because they have to be 18 to get in. Eh?
Nah.
What are you talking
Yeah, but
about?
I feel like the CWL London Con was like they were pushing like 22 and higher. Like,
Yeah, there's people that have been going to events for years there and stuff that hadn't got to go to many events.
Yeah, and then like not only that, but in America it's 21 a drink.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of very sober people walking around most of those venues.
Yeah, and I don't think they've not had a bar at any of the MLG events. There's like a VIP bar. Wait, are you sure?
I mean, Vegas did.
I feel there's a VIP bar, but I don't know if there's like an access.
Did as well. I'm sure they did. I don't think it's as easy as that. But you also got to remember that the
Marky
UK
is gassing up the place.
Yeah, the UK has a penchant for drinking heavily. But you could tell we've been gassing up London for so long that people knew it was going to be a party on the Sunday, and I'm just glad it was. I'm genuinely just glad it was. I just think it's a different culture of American events. The drinking is obviously a big factor. The fact that the UK drunk dry the Olympic venue 2 days on the trot is quite frankly ridiculous.
We just have a binge drinking culture in the UK.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
I mean, it was to the point where we bumped into Calvin and Zach. It was maybe like 2 o'clock. They were both wankered. Absolutely bad. Great to see.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the questions from the chat. If you do have a question, throw it in the chat. Quick fire questions, preferably. Don't ask us about the entirety of franchising, which is always comes up every single week.
Don't ask us about franchising. Fuck
yeah. Do you want champs in London? Of course, I want champs in London. Whether or not it's the best business move, I don't know, but the crowd would be lit. Could you imagine Champs Sunday in like the O2?
You know what? I'm sorry, I know you guys are saying London, big advocate of London, but I'm saying somewhere like Manchester, man.
Somewhere a bit cheaper.
Bit cheaper.
Well,
I swear to God, it would blow if it was held in Manchester.
Yeah, that's true.
It would.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Newcastle.
Newcastle's like
It's
in
a
the
pain in the arse to get into. It's a pain in the arse.
It's not in the arse. It's actually it's genuinely not. I will make a case for Newcastle.
basically
it's not hard to get to.
Oh, Manchester's a lot better.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Manchester's a good city.
Yeah, Manchester, London.
I'd actually argue it's kind of more annoying to get to Manchester as to Newcastle. To be honest.
Yeah, big from a Scottish person.
No, Jayla, because there's no like. Actually, is there flights from Manchester to London? Actually, yeah, there may be.
I think there is.
Chalk up the conversation.
Yeah.
Chalk up the conversation.
Who's winning between Rec and Faze next week?
Depends if Faze have regained.
Definitely gonna fucking regain.
I think that's gonna be a very close game.
Yeah, it'll be close.
I'm gonna say Man.
Go on, I'm gonna edge out
Faze will
Rec.
win that.
You reckon?
Yep.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
That's my. Well, there you go. I'm throwing it out there.
If Optic won Arsenal control against 100T, do they win the event?
It's subjective, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, possibly. I mean, I don't know if I regard that as a choke or just fucking insane from Kenny or.
I'd say yes. I think
very much potential.
It would have been a big momentum swing.
Neil in the fucking chat, by the way. You love to see it.
Damn. Love it.
All right, Neil, pal.
Someone asked, what was your favourite chant from London?
Oh, when the ball was out and then there was GOHD in the crowd and he had his hair dyed blue and they were going, give the ball to Ninja, give the ball to Ninja. That was
That's a very good one.
That did deck me, to be fair.
I saw that boy that had the Ninja bar like on the Sunday night or whatever rowing about outside the Holiday Inn Express hotel. I'm not even joking. There's like a patch of grass outside the hotel and he was like rolling about.
I think potentially only in the final bit when the crowd finally decided to cheer for 100 Thieves after winning it, like the run it up or the MVP. For me, that was just like, you know what? Yeah, they were the underdog. You didn't like this team for the last 3 games, but now they've won it. Like that's just it's more class to just cheer like that for a winning team. So I was very happy that actually happened because I would have been very upset if the crowd started fucking booing.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was nice that they gave them a bit of respect.
Yeah. I think for all, like, Kenny was giving them the etc. for the theatrics of it. I don't think anybody was against, like, teams.
Wasn't that about, like, Optic and stuff? It wasn't about the crowd, was it? Or someone pointed out it was something about there's like a thing been going around a few of the pros recently.
Well, yeah, Krim was doing it as well. Krim did it.
Yeah.
Did he not? Did he like put his fingers in his ears or some shit?
Yeah, I didn't. You see, this is a difficulty when you cast some of the games. We actually missed half the event.
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't see much of the event either, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm discussing the event.
Yeah, I didn't get to see much of it either.
All right. Someone said, anything you change about the event? Personally thought from getting from main stage to side stage with a sort of pain. More seats, move the stage back a little bit. That's the only real thing I can think of.
Yeah, in the main stage area, yeah, but also in the
bigger bars.
The open bracket section, like this is obviously from my POV from a coach trying to watch my team.
Yeah.
If you were in the stands, you couldn't see the screen properly. But if you were down on the ground, your neck was nearly broken trying to look at the screen. So it was like there was no happy medium there. It was either you were getting a sore neck or couldn't see anything. So it was just one of those.
I brought this up before the event even opened, and I said we should have got some TVs down there. But
yeah, I mean there was a TV at either end of one at Bravo and one at Delta.
Maybe that's for the fucking schedule.
Yeah, they had the schedule on it rather than the actual games. I feel like there was an actual admin section for the schedule. I feel like those should have been used to display what the codcaster was saying. But
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it's a few things.
Little things like that. In terms of the overall event, in terms of the everything else, like the event was great.
Maybe a little bit more like, you know how the North American events at the moment have like the blackout and all that sort of stuff going on. Maybe a little bit more of that. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I think there was like a good amount of space that could have been used for it.
Yeah.
A fair point from somebody in here. Next event in the UK, we'll have to suspend X's Twitter account so I can stop hearing and bitch about the England 24/7. That's one of the worst things about the event was the Americans fucking complaining about the UK in the green room on Twitter. Never heard the end of it.
All they were doing was going to Nando's and going to all the
I know the food's garbage. You're basing it off a Holiday Inn buffet breakfast, pal. Like.
Yeah, go on TripAdvisor, look up some good restaurants, and walk to some good independent restaurants.
I tried to point this out.
Moving on. Someone said champs at XG. That doesn't exist anymore. Champs at the Norbrec. Yeah, it would have been. That would have been very.
Mate, I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel like you could do a lot at the Norbrec.
Yeah,
that
like
fucking space. No. Fuck the hotel, but the space they have in there
renovate
is actually sick.
There's a lot of places that have got good. There's a lot of spaces that have got a good area like that. Let's talk about Glasgow, Newcastle. Some of these places have some nice spaces like that,
The Norbrec is cheap. That's basically its only benefit.
Yeah.
And it's cheap for a very good reason.
Even though the hotel rooms aren't actually that cheap in the Norbrec.
Oh, really?
Well, no, they are. I got one for like 30 quid a night once.
Oh, okay. Maybe I was looking at the wrong time.
We need an Australian event. Would be cool to see an Australian event.
I would love that.
Yeah, not keen for the travel, but
I would love that.
I would.
Ego, does Optic need a roster change or an ego change? I think Optic just needs to just settle down and grind. Hopefully that's what's been happening because everyone moans about them at the moment. I don't think there's any more. I had direct comms at Reedy. How did you hear me, by the way, in the truck? What did you say, mate?
Oh, mate, I was casting. It was the
Wait, hold on.
Casting.
What game were you observing? What?
It was the Aspire against Mind Freak game. I don't think it was on stream or anything. That was the only game I done. But I was literally fucking around with the observer so fucking much and just sitting there talking so much shit to myself. And then I got a tweet of Quentin saying that he could hear me, and I was like, oh shit, it's a bit awkward because I was just, I don't know, man. Fucking who was it? Fighter was getting shat on against Robbie B and that, and then there was someone else getting shat on Luca. And I just kept on fucking making weird little comments about them getting shot on, and it was kind of funny to myself. And then apparently they couldn't hear me.
Fair enough. I'd like to hear like an off the hook just pro cast, like a group of pros, like 9 pros, just chilling on sofas, just no camera.
Is that his mic?
Your mic's gone, Mike, pal.
Wait, sorry, your mic came out.
Honest to God.
Don't know why Zoom hates me. Never happens any other time. I honestly don't know what that is. I genuinely have no idea why. Eventually, it just goes Anyway, we're going to end it there. Last thoughts from MarkyB. Anything you want to say, buddy?
All I'd like to say is cheers, Bryce, for bringing me on here.
Love it, mate.
Not the rest of yous.
Cheers, Bryce.
Nah, I'm only joking. But yeah, no, cheers everyone for coming on here, talking about COD. You know, it's just great times. I'm pretty bored at the minute, so it was just a great time waster for the last hour and a half.
Excellent. Thanks, pal.
So yeah, hopefully we can run it up at the.
Oh my fucking god! Get Enable off the mic right now, man.
Yeah, we'll
Get
run it
off.
up, and then at Anaheim we'll also do that there as well. So yeah, peace out. Yeah, sweet. Nice.
Reedy.
Yeah, thanks for having me back on. Just want to say fucking G-Finity smashed the ball out the park with that event. I actually don't care what anyone says. I know we're on EGL right now, but I've fucking been calling it for fucking months and years now that they needed another event, and I'm happy they got it and showed everyone what they were capable of. It was very enjoyable to be a part of, and I'm thankful for it.
Sweet. Nice. Tunn?
We've got a giveaway to do, and I'm about to do it right now. Just doing it on stream, not putting my dog's tweet in there. We'll get the EGL tweet up. It's for the we got some shit to give away, haven't we?
Why didn't you mention?
Oh my god, why is Pornhub up there? What the fuck?
There's no Pornhub there, mate. Don't gas it. So we're gonna do this now. We've got 2 sets of 20s to give away. We're gonna do a random tweet draw. Just doing it on stream so nobody tries to fuck up my shit. Pick a random retweet. So Stan, you are the first winner there. We'll open up those Twitter. If you are currently watching, which I doubt you are, then I will DM you. And the second one is Ruth Harwood. So we have drawn both those. So if you are Stan, which is Calamity COD, or Ruth, Ruth's one of these people who just follows all these, does all these followers.
Redo,
soz Ruth. Right, redo. Random retweet. Oh, Jacqueline Roberts. Let's have a look. She's another one of them. I'm not buying into it. Sorry, guys. They won't see this. They won't see this. What about Laura?
Fans.
Is she legit? Bloody hell, there's loads of these mothers who just enter these random retweets.
Wait, how do you know they're not trying to get it for the kids?
Just give the winner to Gillian Braceland.
There we go. Sam Hurst from Northampton.
Wait, hold on. Redo one more time. Redo one more time, real quick.
Well, no, I'm not redoing it now. I mean,
I've just retweeted it.
It's done.
I've just retweeted it. One more time.
So Stan and Sam Hurst, I will be in contact to DM you guys about win the A20. That might have not necessarily been the most legit way about doing it.
Oh wait, no, wait. He's a CS:GO one. He supports CS:GO. I've just seen his last retweet. It's CS:GO.
That's fine.
Redo.
That's fine. Right. So season 2 of Spitfire has arrived, sort of. We will sort this week everything that we're doing that's new and stuff. I would like to say thank you so much to MarkyB and Reedy, who I'm sure will be a big part of season 2 as well.
No doubt.
But we're hopefully going to have more giveaways. We're going to try to do more stuff, and we want to interact more with people who watch and listen to us. We're also looking into kind of new ways to do some of this podcast stuff. So hopefully it'll all be fantastic. I don't know what I'm going to do about my mic. It'll probably be the same problem for the rest of the season. It all works fantastically before then. But I do want to give a big shout out to everybody who has stayed along with us now. As this is technically 22 episodes. Longest running dedicated Call of Duty podcast, I think, that I know of. There's at least been consistent. You know, we're something. We're here. We want to thank all of you. If you do want to talk about feedback, happy to talk on Reddit, Twitter, or on the YouTube if you do watch this in the VOD. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.